Today we're going to work with absolute value inequalities. They have some similarities to the absolute value equations as far as solving them algebraically, but I'm going to spend a little bit of time on algebra and more time on solving them with a calculator. So let me show you the rationale behind the algebra. And so basically what's happening is, just like yesterday with the equations, you had to set them equal to the positive and the negative of the number. And then this is a little bit confusing, so the original equation, or the original inequality, goes over here. So the 3 goes there. You're just rewriting the original without the absolute values. And then you flip the inequality. Notice it started as greater than, and over here it's less than. So you flip the inequality and you change the sign on your answer side. And that gives you your two inequalities. So x minus 1 less than negative 3, or x minus 1 is greater than 3. And that's how you will account for both positive and negative values. And then you're just solving with algebra, one process. So we add 1 to this side and add 1 to here. Those 1's drop out. The negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2. And I add 1 here, so those 1's drop out. And 3 plus 1 is 4. So x is either less than negative 2 or x is greater than 4. So that's the algebra behind solving those. The calculator version of solving them and graphing them, the calculator is actually going to give you the graph, and then you just have to write it in the inequality format. So I'm going to start with question 4. And you go into y equals, and you put in, again, this time you're going to put the entire inequality in there. So second 0 for absolute value. And we have x plus 2. And get out of that. Now the inequalities in your calculator are under second math. Second math. And that's where the inequalities will show up. Second math, not just math, second math. And the inequality I want to match is the less than or equal, which is option 6. And then I put a 2. So what's in your calculator or on your calculator screen should look exactly like question 4 on your problem worksheet. And then I graph that. And all we're looking at is the x-axis. And what we want is the raised part, not the blue line on the x-axis, but where it's raised. Wherever it's raised, those are our solutions. So looks like it goes from, so right on there, it goes from negative 4 to 0. So when you're writing your answer on there, it would be all the values of x from negative 4 hard to put that on there, 0, and that would be a closed circle because it's equal to. If it doesn't have the equal to, it's an open circle. And when the segment connects like that, then when you write it, it's all the values of x between negative 4 and 0. So if they're connected, your inequalities will always point in that direction. And look with that format, the low number goes on the left, the high number goes on the right. The other situation you'll see, y equals, is like question 6. So I'm just going to clear that out and we'll just start over. So absolute value of x, second 0 for absolute value, x. Jump out of there with our right arrow, minus 4 is greater than, so second math. Oops, I didn't hit second math, I just hit math. Second math, greater than is option 3. And then I want negative 2. I graph that. So here, you'll see that the raised part of the graph is on, there's some of it to the left, and there's some of it to the right. So that is what's called an OR scenario. So you're going to go to the left with the graph, or you're going to go to the right. It looks like from -2 it goes left, and it's equal. Is it equal to? It is not. So it'd be an open circle at -2. I'll do this the best I can. It goes left. And an open circle on +2. I know it's kind of off a little bit, but that's the idea. And it would go to the right, and then you would write it as x less than -2 with the word or, x greater than +2. And that's pretty much the way the rest of the worksheet will go. You'll either have, if it's a single line segment connected, it'll be x's between, like question 4. If it's two different line segments, it will be an or scenario, and you'll move in different directions. The only other thing you will see, it's the same format, but you will see that sometimes they throw some decimals in. And I think, I'll just go over it with you. It's question 6. It may be the only one with decimals on it. So I'm not sure. Let's get rid of that. So question 6, and this is on the side C. We'll go back to the calculator, clear that out, and it's absolute value of x plus a half, and it's probably easier to make a half 0.5, -2, and we want greater than or equal, so second math, greater than or equal is option 4, and 2. And we graph that. And so this is going to be an or, because our raised values are on the left and to the right. But you'll see that it's kind of in between integers. When that happens, I usually go to the trace key, and then you just move your cursor along the line until it jumps up to the raised line. And then I kind of split the difference. So it's a -4.54, -4, that's almost -4.4. So I'm going to call that -4.5. So x is going to be less than -4.5. And then we go the other direction. So just keep going. And it's probably a 0.5 also. Let's see what happens. We got 3.6. Jump back 3.48, 3.63. I'm going to say for they're not going to make it real crazy, so we're going to go with x is more than 3.5. Word to write on here. And of course, we need the word or in there. So you have an open circle. You decide where you want the 3.5, -4.5. So I'm going to say somewhere over here, it's -4.5 going this way. And 2, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. So we'll say somewhere in here, it's +3.5 in that direction. So that's kind of how that would work. So hopefully that'll help you. Mostly calculator today, not a whole lot of algebra. And probably make both of these worksheets actually due on Monday, because we didn't finish today's equation, absolute value equation worksheet in class. So we'll finish it tomorrow, or Friday, I should say, and make them do, both of them due on Monday. So have a good weekend.